Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Burns, and I am back with another video. If you watched my last video, it was all about well, it was a tribute and goodbye to Satoru Iwata, who passed away well over a week ago now. But this video is, I've been watching a lot of videos today on YouTube and about sad TV moments, sad TV deaths, stuff like that. So I'm gonna be doing quite a couple of videos about that. Now, just to let you know, most of my videos is just going to be me talking like this. There's not going to be many images or videos in my videos. It's just going to be me talking. Anyway, this video is all about my top 10 saddest TV moments. Now, not just deaths, moments in general in TV shows. And I have to start off at number 10 with Futurama and Fry's dog. A very sad scene where the dog is waiting for Fry to come back and Fry never does, and the dog eventually does die. Very sad. To be honest, I've never really been a huge fan of Futurama, but I did get into it. Like when it was finishing, I got into it then, but never really was I big into it. But when I saw this episode where Fry's dog was waiting for him and he never came back and the dog died eventually, I'm never good with anything dog or animal related because I love animals and it always gets me teary-eyed. So I was very sad. Yeah, so that's your number 10, Futurama, Fry's dog. And number 9, this is a difficult one, but number 9, I'm going to say number 9 is Scrubs, Dr. Cox's, I don't really know how to describe it, Dr. Cox's breakdown, basically. Now, if you've watched Scrubs, if you're an avid watcher of Scrubs and you've watched all the episodes and you love Scrubs, you know what I'm talking about. But for you people that don't, I'll describe it to you. Basically, what happens is Dr. Cox is looking for. There is 3 patients, and he's looking for donors. Now, there's one guy, his guy, that he mainly goes to, and he's looking for a kidney transplant, so he can last about another month. But there's 2 other transplants that need doing, a liver transplant and something to do with the heart as well. I can't remember, one of the artery transplant or something. Now, them 2 are at more serious health and they need the transplants earlier. So he gets obsessed with trying to get the organs for this transplant, and when he eventually does, he's very excited about it and he rushes, gets it done, and all the patients seem to be getting better. Now, where they get the organs from is one of the lovable characters in Scrubs dies. I can't remember her name. The crazy one. I'm sure if you watch Scrubs, you'll know which one I mean. And she donates her organs. Now, we don't know the cause of her death. We assume it's suicide because she's been having troubles, and just before she comes in hospital and we find out that she's died, she talks to JD about being stood up by yet again another guy, and then she turns up dead. So it is automatically assumed that it's suicide. However, when the transplants are done and Dr. Cox is happy and everybody's getting better, all of a sudden the 2 that were more seriously ill start going ill again, and Dr. Cox has no clue why, and then his guy, he seems okay to start off with, but then his leg starts going numb and he eventually goes downhill with the other 2. Now, the other 2 die first, and then his guy, the other 2 die first, and then JD tries to comfort Dr. Cox by saying he couldn't have known that rabies was the reason that woman died. So he couldn't have known that her organs were infected with rabies, because it's very rare people die from that. And he said it would have been silly to check it, and it would have been time that people didn't have. And he said, oh well, then people would have died anyway. So he tries to comfort Dr. Cox, and it seems to work. And they look like they're about to share lunch, and then all of a sudden, his beeper goes off, and his guy that the one that could have survived another month without a transplant, is dying, and then eventually does die. And Dr. Cox basically has a breakdown. He leaves in the middle of his shift. JD asks where he's going. He says, I'm going home. And JD repeats what Dr. Cox said to him earlier in the episode, that as soon as you start blaming yourself for other people's deaths, it's a slippery slope. It's all downhill from there, basically. Yeah, so that's number 9. It's very sad. And the music that goes with it as well is just even worse. It just makes it even sadder. So yeah, that is your number 9, Dr. Cox's breakdown. And number 8, I would probably say it is. Just thinking now. And number 8, I would probably say would. It's a difficult one because there's so many, and I have been thinking about it before I started doing the video, and I still haven't got my full top 10 because there's just so many, swirling around in my head. But I'm gonna go for this one. At number 8, I'm gonna go for Deborah's death, Dexter. Now, just to let you know, this is a spoiler alert. Well, they're all spoiler alerts. If you haven't watched the programs. Deborah is Dexter's sister, and they've got a very close relationship. Dexter doesn't seem to be able to have a close relationship with anybody else but his sister. And when he does, it's rare. And his sister is the main and consistent relationship that he has through the whole series. And it gets to the final series, and they get a bit distant because she knows all about what he does, and he killed the lieutenant at the police where he works, because she was going to tell everybody about what he does. Oh no, he doesn't kill her. Deborah kills her instead of killing him. She had the choice and she killed her. But it comes to the last couple of episodes, and you can kind of see that Deborah is kind of on a down spiral, and you can kind of see something's going to happen. You hope it doesn't, because she's a very, very vital character, and I'm glad they left it to the last episode to kill her off. I'm not happy that she got killed off, but at least they left it to the last episode so we didn't have to watch Dexter without her in it. So yeah, it's very sad, and basically how it happens is she looks like she's getting better because she gets shot, basically, by a guy that Dexter's after. And should have killed sooner, basically. And she gets shot, and she's in hospital recovering. And she has an operation to get rid of the bullet, and it looks like everything's okay. But then she gets an infection where she had the operation, and it's all downhill from there. She has I think it's a stroke she has, and she's paralysed, and then she passes away then. And basically, Dexter takes her out of the hospital, because the hospital, something's happening, like, oh, there's a storm coming in or something, and the hospital is being evacuated because it's right next to the sea where the storm's coming in. And he takes her out on his boat to bury her at sea, and he goes directly into the storm, and you see him dump. Well, no, they don't go directly into the storm to start off with. You see him dump her off the boat. He goes into the storm, then you think, oh, he's killed himself. I won't say anything else because it'll ruin it. Well, I basically ruined it anyway. But yeah, it's very sad. Deborah's death's very sad. As I said, I'm glad they left it to the end, but it's still very sad. Anyway, that was your number 8. And number 7, I'm gonna go for